Hello everybody, sorry about that. I just wanted to turn my volume off and now GW sends me a message. This is Sharon Weller here, live from Perth, Australia. And thank you all for joining me this afternoon, not quite evening yet. But I hope we have, I've got an interesting topic. And it wasn't my first choice. It is TBC, the billion coin, and what is anarchy? And the reason I chose that topic is because I was in discussion with an aunt this morning. We started off the conversation about TBC, and I don't know how it changed, but it did. And then it got me thinking all day today. So that is my topic. What is anarchy? Now, and I wrote it down here, and I wanted to talk about it because I just got off another conversation with another person of the same topic. Now, usually, I don't dwell on the future, but because of TBC, the billion coin, and all that it stands for, and reading the blog, and all the messages that admins post on the blog, it makes one think about the future and where am I going to stand within that future. So, like I said, we were discussing about TBC this morning, and somewhere or somehow the conversation changed. And I just asked her, I said to my aunt, I said, are you getting chemtrails over Auckland? And she said, I have been watching, not on a regular basis, but she wanted to see if she could see anything. And she said during the day she can't see nothing. She said it's what happens at night time. Over now they live in Glen Innes in Auckland, okay? What she was saying, that the planes are flying low. Now Glen Innes isn't in a flight path. So I have to ask the question, why are there planes flying low at that time of the night? Because that is a ridiculous time for planes to be flying if they're not in a flight path. What I mean by flight path is when you are an international traveller and you're coming in to Auckland Airport, Glen Innes isn't on their flight path. So that's an interesting one. So she thinks that the chemtrails are happening at night time because of their age and their health reason. There's a lot of things that she's noticing that are different. And one of the biggest telltale signs is the water, the taste in the water. And she dare not go and get bottled water because that's even worse. Now, I know for a fact that bottled water here in Perth is totally disgusting. The taste is so salty. It's and that they're selling it as bottled. It's been through all the systems. It's an absolute load of bull. Oh, okay. Hello, Joe, and thank you for telling me that, just making sure that nobody misses the send button meeting tonight. There's always something new that's going to be announced on the send button. So if you have the send button on, please don't miss the meeting tonight. Yeah, so like I said, chemtrails are happening over Auckland. Now, I haven't seen any over Perth of late. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, I just haven't seen them. I don't know if it's because where my house is, where we are about, we're pretty close to the Indian Ocean, okay? But believe me, I keep a regular watch out. I always look up to the skies. And another thing is I always look at the trees. I always say to my husband, when the trees are blowing, the trees are talking to me. He just thinks I'm weird. Anyway, what is anarchy? A state of disorder due to absence or non-recognition of authority or other controlling systems. In other words, no government. Absence of government and absolute freedom of the individual regarded as political ideal. To me, anarchy can swing in two ways. If you have a government, you have law and order. If you don't have a government, an individual could be totally reckless in how he goes about his normal day of life. He could create havoc. And you can't, a person like me would be in total shock if there was anarchy within Perth today, because I wouldn't know how to defend myself other than locking myself in my house. But what was the point of that? And the states would be more prepared because everybody walks around with a gun. So, yeah, that is a it makes one think. Good afternoon, Michael. Welcome. So, anarchy is the condition of a society, entity, group of people, or even a single person that rejects hierarchy. Now, I could say anarchy exists today. Goodness knows how many shootings they have in the States, and they're all done by teenagers. And that's the saddest part. People walk around with guns and they don't even blink twice over there. In Auckland, when I first heard about the shootings, it was kind of a shock to the system because you didn't have guns. I mean, the only time I saw a gun was when I went duck shooting with my grandfather. And as far as I was concerned, keep the gun and the ducks out of my sight. I mean, that's killing animals. And I was kind of an animal lover at the time. But anarchy, and this is it, you know, in people's minds, they've got an option of two, actually: lawless or lawlessness, meaning no government. It's pretty hard. I do not want us to go down of anarchy, because that would be a sad day when and if it actually happens. At the moment, we have governments in place. Is anarchy going to come to our doorsteps? I don't know. But anyway, so we were talking about this in TBC, and I wanted her to go back to TBC. So I asked her, did you watch Harry and Meghan's wedding? And she went, well, I could not help but watch it. And I said, it's not so much the fairy tale for young Harry, Prince Harry. I said, what I was more trying to get, the point I was trying to get at is nobody saw Harry fall in love with a married woman, divorced, activist, been in front of the TV cameras for quite a few years, came from a broken home. So as far as royalty was concerned, this girl came from left field. Nobody would have seen her coming. And this is what I like about TBC. With all this anarchy going on, TBC is going to come from the left field. People aren't going to see it coming because in actuality, it is totally unheard of, even today. Even though we're making our ways in growing our community, TBC is relatively unheard of because it's not on the stock market or the exchange. So it's still that peer, that word of mouth, that peer-to-peer system. So further along in the conversation, we would carry on talking about. I was still trying to convince her to come back to TBC, but then she proceeded to tell me, well, we're at the end times, and I thought, oh, okay, it's not Sunday, meaning, we don't have to talk about the Bible right now. And I said, today is Monday, yesterday was Sunday, so it's all about TBC today. That's what I'm trying to talk about. And she said, we need something that's going to save not only us, but something that's going to protect us. And when she said that word protect, and I thought, whoa, what are you saying? And she said, I agree with what you're saying, Sharon. I agree what you say it stands for. But we also need something to protect us. And I'm thinking, whoa, I've never heard of TBC being used as protection. So I'm thinking, well, how? How can it protect us? And then, deep in the conversation, she said, when anarchy hits, we are going to need protection. And then I thought, isn't this where the masses, where the billion coin was designed to reach 1 billion people. And I said, it is going to protect us. This coin is going to protect us from anarchy when it happens. And she said, how? And I said, because when it hits the 1 billionth person, elite cannot fight 1 billion people. They cannot. The masses are too huge. And I said, this isn't the masses that's going to be in New Zealand. No, I'm talking worldwide. I said, you're going to have pockets of people in TBC throughout the world. What we see in our community now is nothing. It's nothing compared to what's coming. And she couldn't quite picture it in her mind as such. But as soon as I saw it, because she just about had it over me, you know, yes, TBC will protect us. And then I thought, but how? And then it was just through scrolling through the billioncoin.info, right in the formula, and I kept repeating those words over and over and over. Share abundance, and then the billions coin. And I thought, it's going to be the masses. Putting the banks and standing between them and the government. Exactly, Joe. Exactly. Joe was saying, yes, it shouldn't happen. But what I see is TBC pushing out the banks and standing between them and the government. Exactly. And you know what? We don't have a bank as such. We are the bankers. Every individual TBC member are their own bank. So when I finally worked that out, that how is TBC going to stand up to all the anarchy that is going around, the sheer numbers of each of the membership is going to be the one that's going to bring down the elites. If not, give them a good, I would say another word, but give them a good go for their money. So when we were talking about that, and then I said to her, well, can you understand why TBC was created? I said, it would have been one person's possibility, a dream about the TBC, but as this is the second year, the journey has evolved. So it's grown so much since it first started. And I can't even find the first page no more, because page 80 at the moment, we're up to page 80, and page 80 goes, whoa, the first post is scarcity. Scarcity, anarchy. Makes one think. But even tonight, my daughter rings me up every night just to say hello. And I said, she asked me, what are you doing, Mum? And I said, I'm trying to find what anarchy means. Now, she's driving home. She shouldn't be talking to me, but she's on loudspeaker. And she just rattled off social unrest, mayhem, shooting, rioting. 4 words. And I thought to myself, she's been watching too many movies. But she says, Mum, when you think about it, that's happening today. It's not going to happen. Anarchy is happening today. So when my aunt said to me, TBC is going to, is it going to save us? I don't know. Is it going to protect us? I think so. and the numbers say it. It's a pretty scary topic, anarchy, because it's too real. You really don't want to think too much on what you don't want to dwell on the dark side of the topic. But in all actual fact, this is how governments control people. And we become like their little, well, not even foot soldiers, because who are we soldiering for? But we end up like those movies, those spacey movies, where everybody's marching along in, you know, in a line. I mean, your life is your life is not your life. So we need to TBC. We need to grow TBC. So we have the numbers. We've got a good start. I believe we've got a good start. This time next year, it's going to, I believe the number's going to triple. But it's really a scary topic. I mean, when you think about it, we're in the Australia and New Zealand are first world countries, but you've got a lot of elite, wealthy people buying up land down in the South Island of New Zealand. You have to ask the question, why? What are they building down the South Island? The constructions of their homes. What do they know? So anyway, I want to leave that negative, all those negative thoughts there, and that's, yeah, that was my topic today. I tried to turn the topic around, but and then she throws that at me. So let's go back to TBC. We know the value of what we hold today. Okay, we know we don't have to wait till admin releases TBC out there. What I mean is when we finally cash out. We don't wait for that. We can do it today. And, you know, I mentioned that to my aunt. I said, you don't have to wait till the billionth person has finally signed up and then the billion coin is going to flourish. We don't wait for that. And she was saying, well, how do you do it? And I said, you grow your own community. Let's not wait until somebody has a shop to start selling goods and we buy it with TBC. I said, you live in GI? And I said, you just start putting what you don't want on Facebook and say you will trade with another TBC member. And she said, how do I do that? And I said, I will show you how to do that. And I said, if you want 50-50, and she says, what are you saying 50-50? And I said, say you want 50% of the price that you've labelled on, say, a coffee table. The coffee table is worth $150, and you want 50-50 in cash and 50-50 in TBC. Well, when they come and pick it up, they can pay you $75 in cash and $75 worth of TBC. That way, you're getting the best of both worlds. And she thought about it for a moment. Actually, she thought about it for quite a bit. So she was firing off all these other questions to me and saying, well, how do I grow a community? It's just me. I live in Glen Innes. And I said, simple. I said, you go to Housey. And in a Housey room, there's well over 200 people. And I said, have a conversation with the best two ladies who turn up every day. That's how you grow. And she thought I was, she thought, no. Now, Housey is bingo for all my friends outside of New Zealand and Australia. So she goes to a bingo game, and there's about, believe me, I've been, and there is well over 200 members in that hall. It's probably close to 4. So I said, look, you talk to other ladies, and those other ladies are associated with churches. So it got her thinking about, well, she already told me about the chemtrails and how these planes are flying very low over Glen Innes in Auckland. So I've turned it around and told her grow her little TBC community and talk to her friends at the Housey. And then we both agreed that you do not have to wait to start building your wallet and your bank account. You do not, mind you, I had to convince her that she didn't have to wait in order for that. I said, but we are in migration, so doing transactions on a daily basis is a bit of hit and miss. I said, personally, I'd rather wait until migration, until we have migrated safely to the other side before we start doing lots of transactions. Not how big the transactions are, but, on a daily basis. I'm not even sure how many. I've forgotten whether you can do more than one transaction per day. But it really opened her eyes and my eyes to what's happening just around us. I mean, I've been totally focused on TBC, so obviously I'm walking around with my eyes closed to Anarchy, but not to the point where I do not know what's happening on the news. But this is it. This is why they want, all they display on the news is lawlessness. Yeah, right. And a lot of naked bodies. Why would you do that all the time? Now they're trying to change our mindset. I don't know. But it paints for a very grey picture. And the only thing that shines for me is my TBC, because I have the belief that it's going to save us. It will protect us. Very interesting topic that was today. Apologies, because that wasn't what I was going to talk about at all today, but when I was in that conversation this morning, it really made me think of Anarchy. What is it? Anyway, I hope you have a good evening, everybody. And I was, oh, hi, Jules. Do you know if there was anybody after me? I can't see the screen. Otherwise, I'll talk on a bit more. I'm not quite sure. I think that there was somebody else after me. There usually is. But, you know, this is happening very close to, it's happening too close to my family. And I've got a lot of family in Auckland. And we need to spread the word of TBC, because that's the only thing that's going to save us. It will be the only thing that in value, when I say save us, I'm talking about hold its value, okay? Because we won't have anything else in value, because all the banks will be shut down. The government will be trying to blimey chip everybody. So we need something that's going to hold its value, that will be able to fight whatever's coming. Oh, okay, nobody on. Okay. So, I mean, it's scary. It's really scary when you think about it. Like I said about Prince Charles marrying Meghan Markle, beautiful wedding, but who would ever see a woman like her past? Nothing wrong with her past. She's got a brilliant past, but think of it from a royalty, what the royalties must have been thinking, because you got some stood upper lip in the royal family, in the British royal family. These people do not buck the system. They've been doing it for generations to come. And in from the left field comes this young woman, head held high, and all she stands for. And she's, as soon as she was pronounced man and wife, she became the Duchess of Sussex. And Prince Harry became the Duke. They are the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Now, a little bit of history if you didn't know it, but the last Duke of Sussex was trying to abolish slavery back in his time. Is Michael on? Have I gone too much over? So it is very uncanny, Joe, that this title should be bestowed on this young woman's head. That, and she is coming from I like that word, biracial, and her beautiful mum sat all alone, and her heritage came from the black slavery days. And she should be wearing that title, Duchess of Sussex. So you have this woman coming from the left field that nobody in the royal family saw coming, right? The Queen will never do anything to Harry because he is her little favourite grandchild. So she will never say no to him. So are the royals going to, they call themselves the firm, are the firm going to change Meghan Markle? I don't think so. I think Meghan Markle already changed the rules, because look at her wedding. There was black entertainers. I have watched William and Kate's wedding, Charles and Diana's wedding. Even the Queen's and Prince Philip's wedding, I love watching British history, especially the royal family. No, not one black person in any of them. So I believe she's going to change the royal family, and I believe TBC will change the economy for the world. The world just don't know it yet. Oh, okay. Right, I'm going to end it there because Michael Elu, good friend and president of Papua New Guinea, is on right now. So this is Sharon Weller saying good night to you all. Good night, my friends. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you same time tomorrow. Then, good night. Bye.